What's happening, family? Dr. Joe here. I hope each of you are well and blessed. Happy Friday. We're talking about depression. We're living in times to where mental health, mental issues, people being neurotic, people having a litany of mental problems, and the whole conversation of mental health is something that is very, very rampant. From one perspective, it's great that people are concerned with mental health. From another perspective, I believe this conversation is one of those conversations that a lot of things people may not be doing that's causing them to exist on a certain plane is being dumped into the mental health conversation when it's about spiritual health and physical wellness, which is impacting our mental health. A lot of people hear that and say, no, that's not the case. It is what it is. But people who are depressed and people who struggle with mental health are individuals that I found either suffer from one of the four of these issues that I'm about to share with you, or all of them. Meaning that people who are or don't suffer from these types of issues, most of them don't have what I'm about to share with you. Not to say that there aren't the outliers who do. All right, the first one, a lot of the individuals who are suffering from mental illness are in poor health. They're diabetics, they're pre-diabetics, they're hypertensives. They're not caring for their physical bodies. And not caring for their physical bodies causes them to exist in a realm that we as human beings were not intended. The word of the Lord says that Jesus came that we may have life and have it more abundantly. Abundant living should be more than just your spiritual connection with God, your emotional connection with your family, but it's also your physical connection with your body. If you're not optimized on a physical level, that is going to manifest depression. If I'm hypertensive, if I'm pre-diabetic, if I'm insulin resistant, all of those issues are going to make me depressed to some level. All right, that's number one. Number two, a lot of people who are depressed don't move. All right, people who suffer from depression have issues with chemical imbalances, dopamines, these types of natural feel-good chemicals that are released in the brain when the body is doing things like eating, when the body is doing things like sexual contact, when happy memories are being shared with your kids, with your wife, with your husband, etc. All right, exercising and movement creates dopamine in the body. If you want to feel good, all right, you have to get up and move. And when you make movement a part of your daily living, it will make a huge impact on your mental health. Number three is depressed people many times eat low vibratory foods. Things are in packages, things that are in boxes, highly processed, refined carbohydrates. A lot of people who are depressed have blood sugar issues. A lot of people are on this swing to where their blood sugar is always spiking because they're insulin resistant. They're eating a lot of muffins, a lot of danishes, a lot of donuts, a lot of highly refined foods that's spiking blood sugar. And then when their blood sugar spiked and then it drops and they crash, they're trying to lift themselves up through caffeine. And this creates this vicious cycle of spiked blood sugar, crashing blood sugar, and then stimulation, spiked blood sugar, crashing blood sugar, and then stimulation. Whereas when you have balanced blood sugar through eating the proper foods and the proper balance and the proper way with the proper timing and the proper amount, it makes you feel like Superman. It makes you focus. It makes you have energy that you don't have to get by stimulation. All right, these are things that all are going to impact mental health, regardless of people accepting this or not. The last commonality of people who are depressed is when they look at themselves in the mirror, they don't like what they see. If you are an individual that you don't like what you see when you look in the mirror and you start to work on yourself with intentionality, being intentional about what you're doing, about your lifestyle, about your water intake, about what it is that you're eating, about who you're surrounding yourself with, all right, working on yourself, trying to lose weight, trying to be the best version of yourself. When you get to the point of where you can look in the mirror and say, I like what I see, that is off the top going to improve your mental abilities and your mental depression. Now, before you comment below, I'm not suggesting that mental depression does not exist. I'm not saying that individuals who don't tick these boxes don't suffer from mental illnesses. But what I am saying is if a person is depressed, if they improve their health, if they improve their movement, if they eat high vibratory foods, foods that are grown in the sun, foods that God made, if they're eating or if they're working on themselves to when they look at themselves, you like what you see. When you're doing those things, man, it's going to be very, 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 it's going to be very, very unlikely that you are going to be suffering from depression. And that's real talk. All right. One of the greatest problems in the treatment of mental illness is it's no emphasis on lifestyle. It's all assessments of clinical case studies and the prescription and the prescribing of pills and talking to somebody. I don't care how many pills you give me. I don't care how many times you talk to me. If I'm eating crap foods, if I'm in an inflamed state, my blood sugar is always out of balance. I'm not moving. I'm sedentary. I look at myself and I don't like what I see. You can give me pills until I'm blue in the face and I'm going to be depressed. It's time for people to realize the power that we have over ourselves in the decisions that we make and in the habits that we take and the agreements that we make within ourselves of what we're going to do and how we're going to live our lives. And when we improve our health, like what we see in the mirror, eat the proper foods, and become active, hey, it's not many things in life that you won't be able to accomplish. This is real talk. And salute to each of you, praying for each of you who are suffering from any form of mental illness. But if you're depressed, look at this list and ask yourself, what can I do to improve? And watch how your depression will, in many instances, leave you when you address these things that you can start not tomorrow, that you don't need a prescription for, but just the will and the consistency to do something different today.